Hello, welcome to Bored and Confused, where I review shows based on two criteria. One, was I bored? Two, was I confused? Today's show is Spare Parts, a new play playing at Theater Row. Before I get into this interesting scientific sci-fi play, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe and help me grow this channel. I really appreciate it, and my mom appreciates it too. So what did I know going into this one? I basically knew two things. I knew that Rob McClure was in it, and I knew that it had been extended. And honestly, that was enough for me. I have seen Rob McClure in shows that I didn't really love, but I have never not loved him in anything I've seen him in. He doesn't choose his material carelessly, at least not for himself. So I figured at minimum, there's at least one great performance in this play. And turns out there's four, but we'll get to that. Spare Parts is written by David J. Glass, and he is a genuinely fascinating person. He's not just a playwright, he's a working biomedical scientist. He's a vice president of research at a biotech company, a senior lecturer at Harvard Medical School, and an adjunct professor at Columbia University. Oh, and he's an elected member of the National Academy of Sciences. So when this man writes a play about aging research and the ethics of science, he actually knows what he's talking about. Glass originally trained as a playwright back in the 1980s at the Manhattan Class Company and Playwrights Horizons, and he had some of his work produced Off-Broadway. He then stepped away from theater for decades to pursue his scientific career. He came back in 2023 with Love and Science, which got serious attention. The New York Times praised it for its meticulous drama, and it was one of the rare pieces of theater ever reviewed in the Journal of Science. Spare Parts is his follow-up, and it's his most ambitious play yet. This is a world premiere production. It began performances on February 26, opened officially on March 8, 2026, and was originally scheduled to close April 10th. But due to popular demand, it has now been extended through April 30th, 2026. It's playing at Theater 3 inside Theater Row at 410 West 42nd Street, and it's directed by Michael Hurwitz, who also directed the Broadway production of Job that I saw off-Broadway. So what's this show about? Okay, I'm going to keep this part deliberately short because this play has surprises in it that I genuinely do not want to ruin for you. So here's the setup. A very wealthy man, a tech billionaire type, is in his 60s, and he's become obsessed with the idea that in about 50 years, science is going to crack the code on aging. The problem is, he'll just have missed it. So he's pouring vast sums of money into finding a shortcut. His assistant arranges a meeting with Professor Coffey from Columbia University, that's the role played by Rob McClure, and his graduate student. Professor Coffey is doing legitimate research into what causes the body to age and whether it can be slowed. He's working with worms and mice, and he's ethical, he's cautious, he's careful. His grad student, on the other hand, smells money. And the play takes off from there, exploring the corruption of science by wealth, the cost of ambition, and some genuinely dark territory involving identity, consent, memory, and the question of what it really means to be human. So that's all I'm going to tell you. You want to go in with this as few expectations as possible. So let's talk about what's great, and there's a lot that's great. First and foremost, Rob McClure, two-time Tony nominee, and this guy is the real deal. He makes everything feel believable, alive, complex, and truthful. And the fact that he can do that in a play that, let's be honest, is a little out there scientifically says a lot. He anchors this whole endeavor and never lets you doubt for a second that this world is real. Now, the rest of the cast is excellent too. Michael Jeanette is compelling as the billionaire. He brings exactly the right energy of someone who has never been told no. Johnny James Kajoba, who, by the way, trained at Juilliard, gets one of the more emotionally complex arcs in the play, and he handles it beautifully. And Matt Walker is perfectly calibrated as the ambitious, morally flexible grad student. And here's a fun fact about Matt Walker. He actually has a PhD in genetics from Columbia University. So you've got a playwright who studies aging and an actor who has a doctorate in genetics. If authenticity is what you like in a play, you're going to find it in Spare Parts. The scenic design by Scott Penner works really well. He makes this small theater feel like both a Columbia research lab and a wealthy man's private facility. It's very simply done, but it feels right. Zach Lobel's lighting is strong, especially on the scene transitions. And the direction by Michael Hurwitz really keeps things moving at a real clip, which is exactly what you need for this kind of play. Overall, the critical response for this play has been very positive, and I also enjoyed it as well. A few little negatives. So science fiction is a tough genre for the stage. I usually feel it's better suited for television or movies. And this play has some of the usual challenges, but it moves really fast, and it needs to, because if you slow down and really start picking at the science or the logical mechanics of what some of these characters are doing and why, questions start to pile up. And there are moments where you have to make a conscious choice to just go on the ride. And I did that, and I think it paid off in the end. There is one moment near the end where, I'm being deliberately vague, where something occurs that is very rare. And it doesn't ruin the play, and I like the dramatic result that it produced, but it's a moment that probably, I think, needs re-examining, because for an ending moment, you really want it to land solidly and not have the audience go, wait, is that really happening? This play really tries to pack in a lot. We've got cloning, gene editing, blood transfusions, consent, inequality, and there are moments when the seams show a little bit. The ambition occasionally outpaces the runtime for this show. And on the costumes, there's not a lot for the costumer to do, I feel, in this. It's mostly business casual and lab coats. But I felt that some of the nerdy professor outfit choices felt a little on the nose. But that's a very minor quibble. So was I bored? No, there's a couple of scenes that lag just a little, but I was never bored during this play. It's one act, 90 minutes. And honestly, any scene with Rob McClure I'm not bored for 1 second. I'm completely engaged. So was I confused? Only if I let myself think too hard about it, and I made a conscious choice not to do that. And it moves at such a clip that it's easy to just go on the ride. I trusted the playwright's larger design and just went with him. I will say that one moment near the end is technically possible, but it's very unlikely, and I just wish the playwright would hang that final moment on something that was a little more concrete. So here's the bottom line. Spare Parts is a thought-provoking, sharply acted, smartly directed new play that is asking exactly the right questions for this moment in time. We are living in a world where actual billionaires are pouring money into anti-aging research right now. This play, it's not really science fiction. It's a warning dressed up as a thriller, and I think it really works. It has been extended through April 30th for good reason. So if you like science fiction, if you like morally complex dramas, if you care about the ethics of money and science, or if you just want to see Rob McClure doing his usual great work, go see this play. It has things to say, and if you liked And Then There Were None at La Mama, which I did a review of, maybe I'll put a link here if I can figure it out, this play is very similar in that vein. So I was fortunate to get press tickets for this. Thank you for that. And the night I went, my seat was on the edge, but the house wasn't sold out, and the usher said we could move towards the center, so we did that. Theater 3 at Theater Row is a wide theater, but it's not very deep. So honestly, I think any seat in this house is going to work great. You can get discounted tickets through TDF for only $36, and Today Tix has them for $27. So go get yourself a discount ticket and go see this great cast and this thought-provoking play, and then come back here and let me know what you thought of Spare Parts. Thanks for watching.
Don't wanna drift away, wanna stay inside the play. Keep me engaged, keep me amused with what's in front of me.